Can we like end blood type testing since we all like bleed the same red? These constructs marginalize rare blood types and are like artificially setting type 0 supremacy. So this is part of my shorty series and also tied in with just information in audible form. As you can tell, some of you might be able to tell, this is kind of a play on the whole like body positivity thing. There's this one meme I saw that kind of sparked a few of these thoughts. I've had another one before. What was the other one? I'm forgetting. Let me double check. Okay, the other one was about blindness. If you might have seen it already wherever you listen to this, but just in your mind, think about what I would be able to say about blindness with this same kind of structure. And that meme had something about like anti-fatness, the future of fitness, saying these artificial health goals and things like that. I'm like, no, there's no artificial health goals. This is just basic health of an animal. Like hippos have a certain weight that they have, tigers have a certain weight that they have, spiders have a certain weight that they have. These are just practical things that are just evolved in nature. It's not this artificial thing. Some things are going to be more attractive than some others. Some people who claim, oh, health at every size. Yes, I think pretty much at every size you can be. You can be healthier. You can be very thin. You can be 100 pounds and 6 foot tall and find a way to be healthier at that same weight. And you can also be 300 pounds and 5 foot tall and find a way to be healthier at that. So yes, focus on health at any site. Fit awareness. But this whole idea of like anti-fatness and things like that is kind of absurd to me. So this one I was kind of thinking just with blood types and things like that, where you can go in and you can pick somebody's different blood type. And for a long time in history, known human history, doctors used to just say you can have a transfusion from anyone because they would just think blood is blood. But then we found out there's actually blood types. And with actual blood types, you can give someone a certain blood type and they will reject that blood type and they could die from you trying to help them. And I think some of that is happening. These fit awareness things, body positivity, people are actually harming other people by giving them crappy information when we have all this access to information that's better. So with that, I'm just going to be reading this from Health Checkup. For those of y'all that are not aware with blood types, what's your blood type? Do you know your blood type? I think if you're listening to this, chances are you were born in a somewhat developed area, and I think they normally test blood types at birth. I don't even know my own blood type offhand, but I know it's in my medical paper somewhere. It's this, I just don't know it offhand. Okay, so I'm going to read this. It's probably something good to know, in case accidents happen. Okay, so this is from healthcheckup.com. There'll be a link somewhere. You can just go find it yourself. So what are blood types? Blood groups were originally discovered by Karl Landsteiner, an Austrian scientist in 1901. Human blood is made up of white blood cells, red blood cells, and platelets. Platelets. It's like plate, like the plate, and then lets. A person's blood groups are identified by antigens and antibodies in the blood. There are 4 main blood groups or blood types. Your blood type is determined by the genes that you inherit from your parents. Every blood group can either be Rhd negative or Rhd positive. This means that in total, there are 8 main blood groups. They include, number 1, blood group A. This blood group has A antigen on the red blood cells and anti-B antibodies in the plasma. So that's A negative, which is written A in the negative sign, symbol, and as an A marker only. And then A positive, which is A again with the positive symbol, and has an Rh factor and an A marker, but doesn't have a B marker. It's one of the most common blood types. That's A positive. It's one of the most common blood types. Number 2, blood group B. It has anti-A antibodies in the plasma and B in the antigens. Let's say antigens. Is it antigens or antigens? Genetics, antigen. Antigen, genes, and then genes. Antigene, no, it's gen. There's no E there, so it's antigens. Antigens. Okay, so B positive, which is B with a plus sign, has a B marker only, and then B negative, B with a negative sign again, has Rh factor on the B marker, but does not have an A marker. Number 3, blood group AB. This has no antibodies, but both antigen A and B. AB negative, which is AB negative with a negative symbol, has both A and B markers, but has no Rh factors. AB positive, A and B with a positive symbol, with a plus sign, has all the 3. Why did they say AB plus instead of an AB minus? Maybe they say that in the United Kingdom? Is that what they say? Do you guys say negative or plus when you say positive? Why would you say positive in this sense? I minus okay. So AB positive has all the three types of markers, A, B, and an Rh factor. Okay, now we're on to the last one, which is number 4, blood group O. Has both anti-B and anti-A antibodies in the plasma and has no antigens. So O negative, which is O with a minus symbol, it doesn't have an Rh factor and both A and B markers. Then go to O positive. It has the Rh factor but lacks both A and B markers. Okay, so now they have some images on the site to see. I'll try. I'll put one of the images up on the screen if you're watching the video version of this. We're just showing the different blood types, just showing different kind of just in handy, just simple, simple diagram showing the different blood types. So blood groups type A plus and O are the most common blood groups. So those are the most common ones. Which one are you in? Okay, so rare blood types. AB negative or AB minus is the rarest. Now I'm saying minus. It's AB negative is the rarest blood type according to the American Red Cross study, only present in 1% of the Caucasians. It is very rare in African American population, and O negative and B negative are very rare with less than 5% of the world's population. Usually, individuals with rare blood types bank their lifeblood in advance in case of surgical procedures to avoid blood and unavailability in case of emergencies. So this is something to kind of consider for some of y'all out there. If you're in one of these rare ones and you're in a place or you're doing some things, this is something to actually look into. There's something, one of my friends recently had a child, and there's something they do where they preserve the placenta or the umbilical cord, and then they can use some of the genetic material from that in case your kid has some issues in the future. And it just see things. And there's also some things with this one. For some cases, some people have found that their child is not quite theirs because the child goes into an accident, and when they're like, okay, we need to find the blood type, and it's a blood type derived from someone who is not the father. Let's just put it that way. Where the mother has donated the chance of having that, but then due to the father's blood type, there's no possible way this kid could be theirs. So that has been one of the ways that some of these things have been discovered. So there could be some danger in there for you going out and trying to find your blood type ahead of time. You might find out some more things about your life. Okay, so what blood types are compatible? Before the discovery of blood groups in 1901, doctors thought all blood was the same. As a result, many people died as a result of wrong blood transfusion. Blood types matter a lot as far as blood transfusion is concerned. There are specific ways on how blood components and blood types must be matched in order to have a safe transfusion. For example, in a safe blood transfusion, a person must be given a blood type that is compatible with their own blood type. In a case of blood transfusion where blood types are not compatible, the red blood cells will clump together and form clots that block blood vessels, as a result causing death. Blood types and donation, therefore, must be carefully done in order to have a safe transfusion. Blood groups O, though, can... That's a blood groups O, though. Blood groups O, though, can be given in cases of emergencies because it's likely to be accepted by other blood types. Likely. This is, however, very risky. So it's likely. That's the universal donor that they say there. So below is a guideline of which blood types are compatible, and this is what they go through next. So O negative can receive blood from O negative. O positive can receive blood from O positive and O negative. A negative can receive blood from A negative and O negative. A plus can receive blood from A plus, A negative, O positive, and O negative. B negative can receive blood from B negative and O negative. B plus can receive from AB negative, B negative, A negative, and O negative. Can it not receive? They don't list. I'm assuming that B plus will also be able to receive from B plus, but that's not listed here. But I think they would still. I'm going for O plus has been able to get from O positive, yeah, and A positive has been able to get from A positive. So I think they just didn't remember to include B positive. Otherwise, B positive is just blood. It doesn't go to anyone. It's not listed here. Actually, B positive is not listed here. Is it? I don't know. Maybe we'll get to the point where like B positive is poisoned blood. They can't give it to anyone. And AB negative can receive blood from AB negative, B negative, A negative, and O negative. AB positive can receive blood from AB positive, B regular. Okay, so there's this is B without anything on it. So it's the B positive, AB negative, AB positive, A positive, A negative, O positive, and O negative. So if you're AB plus, you're limited in who you can give your blood to, but it seems you can receive it from anyone. You can just go all over the place. So, yeah, you can go all over the place. The negatives are in there. It seems okay. A negative is in here, but B negative isn't in there. So again, this is from healthcheckup.com. And I might go double check. And let me just double check right now. Okay, so on the screen right now, if you're watching it, I went to American Red Cross, and they have a guide you can download there. It's in there. They also have this kind of handy thing where you press around and you see, depending on which group you're in, it shows where the platelets are and the antigens are. It shows where the antigens are, and antigen, B antigen on the red cells, and antibody in the plasma. So that's from group B. So it's kind of showing where it's at. So that's kind of showing the information about it. Then it shows the universal plasma donor has type AB blood. Yeah, so AB can give plasma to anyone. Plasma. It's like Earthworm Jim. Plasma. And then the universal red cell donor has type O negative blood. So O negative can go to anyone. The blood for red blood cells. Yeah, see here going over there. Donating red blood cells and plasma goes to anyone. So the plasma recipient. So yeah, it has some chart there. Universal blood donor has more information about that. Then the rare blood types is talking about the different percentages that you have. And of course, now this is going to be tested in the United States of America predominantly. But I think the Red Cross, this is American Red Cross, but the Red Cross is an international organization, so there's more information about there. And then here's that chart that I was telling about with the parents and things like that. So it can tell you if you're type O, then you can say is okay. If you're type O and your spouse is type B, the kid's going to be O or B. So if it turns out that somebody turns out and the kid is like A, it's like okay, the kid is A. The mother has to be A. Let's say the mother is the one that has A. So the kid can be A, O, B, A, B. So A and B. There's only a possible child with this one. So the kid is not going to be, can't be, wait, what can't the kid be? The kid can't be, the kid can be anything. So if you have A and the parent is B, then you can cheat on pretty much anyone. And then you'll be okay. Because you can okay, yeah. If you know your spouse is a B, and you are of an A, if one of you are the B or the A, then you can go ahead and cheat. Let's say you're a woman and you're an A. I'm not giving you advice, but if you're a woman and you're an A, you can have relations with pretty much anyone, and I think it'll turn out. But then if you have if your spouse is a B. Only if your spouse is a B can you cheat on them with anyone, because chances are they'll be able to have a kid of one of the other things. So I'm again, not suggesting anything, but now I'm getting back to the original thing as we were finishing off. I think we're just finishing off with what they were saying on the site with the blood stuff. So now I'm back at the healthcheckup.com, and they have this one also. The following blood types personality can donate blood to other blood types. So that was, as mentioned before, blood type A negative. At A negative, donate to recipients of A plus AB blood types. Blood type B negative, donate to recipients of B and AB blood types. AB negative, donate to recipients of AB only blood types. And blood types is O negative, donate to recipient with A, B, AB, or O blood type. So that's what we're saying, the universal one with that one. So blood group O is the universal donor. It's compatible with all blood types. Only about 4% of the population donates blood. To qualify for blood donation, you must weigh at least 50 kilograms, which is about 120 pounds, 122 pounds, be healthy and fit, be between 17 and 66 years old, or have donated blood in the last 2 years if 70 years and more or older. So that's just some of the guidelines. The guidelines might change a bit where you are. The definition of what's fit might change where you are, but that's part of what this is. So getting towards the end of this, thank you all for listening. To finish this off, I'm going to go with the Thomas Sowell 3, which are 3 questions that I know that Thomas Sowell, economist Thomas Sowell, philosopher and things like that, asks about politics, mostly the political left, mostly with economics, but I think econ and politics kind of apply to the rest of the world as well. And this in particular, this body positivity thing, seems to come more from the political left. So this is something that I plan with. There's also merchandise. You can help me out. It's cool shirts. You can get them with the Thomas Sowell 3 on it. So there's these 3 questions you ask people, and I'm going to apply this to kind of do the health and fitness thing. Now the questions are compared to what, at what cost, and what solid proof do you have? So applied to this whole idea that there's some sort of institutional thing that's anti-fatness, that is structuralized, preferring some certain body type, there's no such thing, and weight should be an issue. You should be able to just go to the doctor and say, oh, I don't want to be weighed. That might have something to do with the condition that you're going in for. But what are the people think? So compared to what? What is your comparison to say that we should have a society that somehow embraces obesity or embraces being anorexic? Because even the people who are underweight are not really embraced in that kind of sense. So what kind of society do you think would need to exist and be developed? Or is there a society somewhere else outside of the one that you live in that you think is more welcoming and open towards it? And don't give me that whole look at the whole like mother god kind of sculptures of fertility goddesses from way back in the day. Oh, that's how we started. What else about those prehistoric kind of societies would you actually accept to go along with that supposed worship of this huge type of womanly kind of figure and thing like that? I don't think you would accept the other things that go along with that. Now, at what cost? At what cost is also just the general cost that you have physically to your body of being in these unhealthy ways. If you got to a situation where society started encouraging these kind of behaviors even more than they already do, what cost to the people who are of those weights and society at large, pun unintended, but let's have it added in there, the amount of, just think about at large, the large sizes that people have on certain things, that's going to actually bring certain people certain money. Think about how many people are actually benefiting from you consuming a lot more and all the conditions that come from certain people consuming certain things. There is a big benefit. There is a lot, there's an entire market out there that's actually enjoying that, while you personally, the people who are actually suffering from these conditions, suffering from being out of shape, suffering from being unhealthy, are actually losing a lot in money, and also just physical healthiness and just physical well-being. So what solid proof do you have? What solid proof do you have that there's some sort of anti-fatness? And if there is some sort of anti-fatness, what solid proof do you have that that is actually a negative thing? You shouldn't, this is all like fat phobia. It's irrational fear. What solid proof do you have that fearing being overweight is irrational? Remember, people don't necessarily think I'm a recovering obese person, I'm recovering from obesity, and have certain issues with it, but it's like I feel like I can't imagine myself getting back to the levels I was at, but doesn't mean I'm at the healthiest I think I can be. There's more things I can do and more things I plan on doing to be healthier in the future, and I also know there's a point in the past where there's certain damage that I've done already where chances are if I had done better steps in the past, I'll never get to that point where it's that healthy. But doesn't mean I can't seek for that better health. So the solid proof that I have, I just haven't found any solid proof to support the people who are saying, first of all, anti-fatness is a massive thing in society that's targeting these people, or that's even a negative thing if that actually was a situation. And the fat phobia thing, that's for me, I don't think it's irrational to be afraid of the damage that you're doing to your body and the struggles that you would have for being overweight, from being unhealthy in that sense versus being a fitter version of yourself, a healthier version of yourself. So that's it for now. Like, share, subscribe, wherever you listen to this. More content coming. I have a few other things saved where I'm kind of thinking, I'll probably do the blindness one. I'm recording this before the blindness one. I might come back with a blindness one because there's also some cool things I wanted to read about the blindness, about some of the actual effects being done to actually return people to have sight. And even with the sight one is better because like the whole like anti-blindness thing, I think very few people would want people to be blind and say, look, we need to encourage society to be blind. That's a positive thing. We need to not rely on our eyesight. And right now with blood types, I don't think a lot of people would encourage people to say, oh, let's go back to not relying on the difference of blood types. This whole idea that, oh, there's a blood type that would be healthier for a certain kind of person and it's not healthy for this other person. And that's the same thing with body types. Yes, some people have different musculature, have different genetics where they'll be able to carry a certain weight in a certain way differently than someone else. I accept that. But in general, for even everybody, even when it comes down to that level, we'll have a range of fitness and then have a range where being too low under that level of fitness is unhealthy, and being too high over that level of fitness and body size and body composition will also be unhealthy. That is something that we can guarantee on, and just stop it. Goodbye.